Okay, so our final day on court, and what strikes me when I watched it live is what I've been saying for many years, is that perception is normally reality, but when you watch a tennis match, it's not so. What you perceive you're seeing is not actually what's really happening, because we watch things that really don't matter. When you watch a tennis match, you watch the ball mostly go back and forth. And as a coach, when I'm watching a match, I like to stand behind the player so I can look through the court, so I can kind of try to pick up the player's movements both at the same time, because there's a temptation to maybe watch the ball if you're standing on the side, unless you're just going to stand on the side and keep your eyes on one player. But when you're watching a match, you definitely watch the ball more than a player in isolation. At the same time, if you do watch a player in isolation, you tend to, there's a temptation to watch their strokes. Ooh, is that backhand technique good? Are they maintaining their form and function? It's individual shots. You look at things as individual shots instead of looking for the patterns that are starting to come. So tell me, what did you really experience as a player? Because we were talking about this a little bit before. You tend to, even when you're a coach and you're playing, you tend to rely on your instincts. So instinctually, what were you feeling in the set? I mean, and tell us who won or lost.
Okay, so my instincts were that, and those instincts are based on experience. So I'm going to go into the match, and I want to. In the first 4 games, my strategy is absolutely to send out a probe to get data about my opponent, because I know I can't rely on my senses and the perception, as you were saying.
Okay.
Right. Because it's mixed in with all kinds of contaminants, if you like. And those are anxiety, hope, justice, expectation, and the biggest killer, which is relief.
Yes.
And when you're in this state, which is perception's distorted. So it's like, I don't know, it's a contaminant, but it's like, I don't know, gravity, if you like. It distorts time and perception. Okay, literally distorts the way you look at it. So that's what pressure does. And so what I need to rely on is data I get from the probe. Now, I'm going to be in a better position if I've played this guy before.
Right, because
leaving aside the anxiety and the fact that we've got the human characteristics, like a desire for revenge or a desire to hold on to that hierarchy. Leaving that aside, I've got some data if I've played him before. If I haven't, I'm going to have to rely on it's kind of a gambling type data, right? So I know that in this scenario, when I haven't played players before and they're of a certain level, how they're going to react. So I'm going to go on past experience.
Just overall general past experience that
Yeah.
you've seen across the board.
Yeah.
Of how players react to certain
And
patterns.
I'm going to test that out in the warm-up.
Okay.
And how do they respond? So my first clue is, how do they respond to a low ball in the cage? So I will slice a low ball into the cage.
Okay.
How do they respond in the knock-up, in the warm-up, to that lower ball, middle court going through the court? Because they won't pick up on this, that I'm testing.
Even in the
But it's going to give me a great clue on how to get those early points. Okay?
And you actually warmed up with Mason for a few minutes, right, just from the baseline. So were you doing that then?
100%. I'm looking at how he responds to the very high ball.
Okay.
and the very low ball.
Okay.
I know how he's going to respond to a ball in his striking zone because the guy is good.
Yeah,
I know that. Yeah?
Yes.
And the tendency is to have this kind of ego. The ego comes out on the court. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to try and maybe threaten him and show him how great I am and what a tough game he's going to have by hitting hard and low and not making a mistake. Yeah,
Right.
but that's too much about me.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely.
My probes that I want to know when it comes to it. Does he miss that slice shot? Because he's not going to pick up on the fact that he does.